My first run at trying to do an office presentation while recording for YouTube. So please be kind in the comments. Click on the bottom to like and subscribe and follow. There'll definitely be a lot more. I've got a few patients in office here tonight, and they've been kind enough to just pop in and be part of the conversation I'm starting over the next year here on educating on different topics from workplace to the pregnancy, kids, developmental. A lot of great information that I've had the opportunity to pick up at different seminars from across the country, and education, and just, of course, everything I learned from my patients day in, day out. So, without further ado, we're going to get started on tonight's presentation. It's called Evolution, Revolution, or Dissolution. And I know it's a little tough to see on the internet here, but I will put the presentation up. It is the classic presentation for my audience here, the ape to the Neanderthal man to the nomad hunter-gatherer to the shepherd to the factory worker to our office cubicle typing on a computer. The only one we're missing here is the new texture gamer. So, without further ado, how did we get here? How did we get from this crawling around, standing up tall, fighting for everything that we wanted, down to sitting in a corner of a cubicle and thinking that being on the computer and sitting is good for us? And this is what we're going to talk about tonight, is our posture and our ergonomics and how that really plays into our health, not only from the past coming into the future, but what does it really mean? Like, what does this mean for us? And a little bit of history here. We were a culture and a society, and it doesn't really matter which ethnic group you want to go. At some point in time, we were all nomadic. We were hunters, we were gatherers, we were migratory, a lot like the birds and the animals are. You know, they forage for what the food they can find and where they can find it. You know, birds fly south for the winter to get away from the cold so that it's easier to forage and to nest and to reproduce. And as time went on, we developed this thing called a culture. We established a clan and our family group and our cousins, and we fought together. And then we wanted to be protected, so we got castles, and from there we had cities around castles. And we're going to get in and talk a little bit in a few minutes about how kings and queens and castles all play into this. Because as we move further on from having our clans to castles to cities, well, now we create this great thing called war, because you have something I want and you have food I need because we had a famine or we had a drought this summer. And so now we get into the conqueror, where we're out there, we're fighting for the city, we're going to storm the castle and take what they've got, and clan against clan, brother against brother, and in today's world it's nation against nation. And finally, in really modern times, we've reached this place of contentment. You know, we're content in our chair, we're content on our couch, and content in a corner, basically. But like I've talked with my patients, you're really not. That's not where you're feeling healthy and alive and thriving. And so, what does that mean? We have to get to the idea of why sitting became so popular. And sitting really is a historic thing, because if we go back to the time of kings and queens and castles, they were important. They sat. The rest of the court had to stand or kneel on the ground. It was an honor and a respect thing. It was an importance thing. And we even see in a really fuzzy picture down here of Abraham Lincoln sitting down with one of his generals, just again to portray that understanding that important people sit. And I think this next slide is really cute. They've got Pope sitting in his chair visiting with some gal, and the whole congregation behind her is standing. And the rest of us used to stand. That was our hunter-gatherer nature. We sat down on the ground and we connected with it. We stretched our legs. We slept on the ground. And now we we have cubicles for sitting. A couple of our big manufacturers and suppliers here in our very community have cubicle after cubicle to support their staff. And it's really efficient. It's great for getting done the business that needs to be gotten done. The question that just hasn't been answered yet is all that sitting good for people long term? Is it good for your health? And this is, again, tonight, the focus around the conversation is what can you do when you're stuck in your cubicle and you need to stretch and you need to move? And I love this next slide. It's great. It's called the Cubicle Farm. And maybe some of you out there in YouTube world can relate. Please add your comments. The Cubicle Farm is the best place to cultivate depression. They're not typically well lit. It's not natural lighting. There aren't many windows. And you're stuck in an 8-foot by 8-foot cube with a computer monitor. And it kind of sucks. So, let's talk about why you're here tonight. It's called Ergonomics and Why It Matters. And you're going to see I've got a Meet URL here on the side, and there's handouts for you as you leave tonight. It has to go with your desk yoga workout. It's 5 simple moves, basically how to use the desk chair and the chair that you're at to stretch out the shoulders and get more flexibility, more mobility through there, how to widen the legs and stretch the inner thighs and stretch the low back out. And we're going to practice these here in a minute. I can see you guys are really excited. Some other ones for turning your hands and your wrists internal and really get some nice stretching, both on the forearms, both ways. There's another one laying at the desk and getting the shoulders to stretch back and just helping us breathe better, feel better, move better, because it's the stinking, thinking, sitting, no good that just makes us feel old. And here at Wellness and Chiropractic, our vehicle is wellness to get you where you want to go. Chiropractic's how we drive you there, but we do all the other stuff to help us. We talk about the nutrition, we talk about the exercise, and we're going to practice what we preach here. And I'm excited to show you all this cool stretching. So who's ready to join me?